Hi everyone, today I'm doing a dedicated video on the new DIOR Rosy Glow blush sticks and the powder blushes. So I didn't get all the shades, but I did get the ones that I thought would be most flattering for me because I didn't want to waste money, honestly, on just getting all of them if I wasn't going to wear them. So I'm just going to demonstrate the ones that I did get. I'll swatch them and then show you all the combinations and what they look like on my cheeks. So let's first start out with the first one here. This is the shade Rosewood, and I actually have not used this one yet. I've used two other ones, but this one looks like it's going to be really pretty, and I think a lot of people are going to love this shade. So I'm excited to try that out. Let's go ahead and just do it right now. So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 109. I'm going to place it on the stick directly and then just tap it in. So the thing I love about these blushes is that they are pretty glowy, but they're not overly glowy. And they blend in really nicely, but they do leave like a healthy finish. Like your skin just looks really healthy when you wear this. So that's something that I've really loved about these blushes. So this is the shade Rosewood. I think this is a stunning color. I did not get the powder version of this shade, but I'm kind of considering it because I do really like this color a lot. So let me go in with a little bit more just so you can see on camera, because I know sometimes it can be kind of hard to see on camera. So that is what that looks like. At the end, I'll do a final look with my favorite shades, and I'll put like my mascara on. I'll just complete the makeup look, but I'm just showing you each shade separately first. So this is the shade Rosewood. Very pretty, considering getting the powder blush because I like that so much. The next one I'll show you is Cherry. This is more of a bright kind of red shade. I think this is beautiful for the summer. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. So I'm just going to take a brush again. Hopefully this brush works. And I'm just going to take a little bit off on the back of my hand just because this one is pretty vibrant. I don't think this is going to be the right brush. Let me go in with my other BK Beauty 109. This one's a little bit more dense, so I feel like it'll pick up the product better. And I'm just priming my bristles because this is such a bright shade. I don't want to overdo it right away, so I'm just slowly adding the pigment to my cheek. Ooh, this is a pretty one. Very, very summery, like I said, and just fun. I feel like this would go really well with like a navy color shirt. And I could even put a little bit of this like on my lips to kind of tie in the look together. I'm just trying to build this up so you can really see it on camera, but then also make it look realistic, like how I would really wear it. So this is the shade Cherry and this is the shade Rosewood. And then here's the swatches again, Cherry and Rosewood. I did not get the powder blush for Cherry either, but these next two shades I did get the powder blush, so I'll show you, what they look like on their own and then with the powder blush on top of them. So I just took the other blushes off and put my foundation back on. I'm using the, where is it? The DIOR foundation, like the stick one. And it's in the shade 2.5N. So if you're wondering what my base is, that is what I'm wearing. So these are my two favorites. This is the shade Candy and Toffee. So let me show you what these look like on the back of my hand. So this is Candy right here. And I did show you this in another video, I believe, or like a short, I think it was. But anyway, let me show you Candy on my cheeks. So this is kind of like a corally pinky shade. I love this shade. It's so pretty. It kind of has like a little bit of a like a shimmer to it. I just love how they're like glowy, but they're not overly wet feeling on your cheeks. So like if your hair like won't stick to it. My hair is sticking to my lips because I have gloss, but it's not sticking to my cheek, which I really like about these. Now I think if you used a lot, maybe it could, but because I'm going in with like light layers, I'm not getting like, I don't know, like that sticky feeling that you get sometimes with cream products. So this is the shade Candy, and it's just like a really nice, like corally summer shade. And then I'm gonna do the shade Toffee on the other cheek, and then I'll put the powder blushes over just so you can see. But this is the shade Toffee, so it doesn't really show up a lot on my skin tone, but I actually really love this because it's very subdued. It's not super noticeable, which I kind of like. You know, like sometimes I just don't want a ton of pigment. Like I just want my cheeks to be natural. So this gives a really natural finish. And it looks really good with bronzer. So if you mix this in with like a bronzer, it looks really good. I'm going to show you at the end my favorite way to combine these. So after I demonstrate this, I'll show you what I mean, like when it's mixed in with bronzer. But this is the shade Toffee. So it kind of has like a little bit of a gold shift to it. And then this is the shade Candy, which is more of like a corally pink. Okay, so now that you see what the Rosy Glow sticks look like, let me show you what the powders look like. So I have the shade Toffee, which looks like this. There's a mirror that comes with this. This is reformulated, so they reformulated this. I wasn't a huge fan of these, to be honest, in the past, but I do think that these perform a little bit better than the last reformulation. So this is the shade Toffee right here in the powder. And then let me show you Candy. And then this is Candy right here. Okay, so now I'm going to just put the blush over. So I'm going to use Toffee right on over. I'm using the same brush. I just dipped it in here and I'm just putting that over. Now, if you want to make sure it like blends in nice, you might want to powder your face first, but I do notice that they do layer nicely. Like I don't like have any issues with patchiness or anything. So that is Toffee with the glow stick and the powder. I love this. Okay, and then Candy. This is the Candy powder. I'm just trying to find like a good brush. Okay, so let me take a little bit of that and just layer it on top of the Rosy glow stick. Okay, so that is what the glow stick and the powder and Candy looks like. So Toffee and Candy. Okay, so now let me just take this off and I'll be back so I can do the final look. I'll show you the way that I've been doing it and the combination that I like because I mix a few together, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I took the blush off and I'm just going to put a little bit more foundation. This is again the DIOR Forever Skin Perfect foundation. It's the stick foundation and it's in the shade 2.5N and I love the way it just glides on. This is a really excellent formula. And usually with these types of videos, it's kind of annoying because I have to like take off the blush and put it back on. But this foundation makes it so easy. So then I'm going to use the bronzer. This is the DIOR Forever Skin Contour Stick. And this is in the shade 03 Medium. So I'm going to use this as my bronzer. I absolutely love this shade. It's just really natural looking, and it's not too orange, the 03. It's a little bit more on the cooler tone, I'd feel like, and like a little bit rosy slash, I wouldn't say it's like red. It's more neutral. Yeah, it's a neutral tone bronzer for my skin tone. The other shades in this, they looked a little like warm. So that's why I went with this. I don't like when my bronzer or contour is too warm, especially if it's a contour, I want it a little bit cooler. So I'm kind of using this as like a contour. So I'm just going to use it on my nose as well. Okay. I'm going to go in with the shade Toffee, because this is honestly my favorite in the stick form. I really like this Toffee shade, especially mixed in with the bronzer, you'll see. It just looks so natural. But I definitely think mixing it with that Dior bronzer in 03 just makes it come together, and you can see it a little bit more. They just mesh well, like those two shades. So I've loved combining that together with this glow stick. I know that Toffee on my skin tone doesn't really show up too heavy, but on lighter skin tones, this is an amazing shade. I think this would show up beautifully on like a little bit lighter skin tone, but even light medium like myself, I feel like I can pull it off. So I just go in with like a few different layers just to make sure I'm building it up, and you can see it a little bit more that way. So it does stick a little tiny bit, as you're noticing, but as it kind of dries down, it gets a little bit better. I wouldn't say that it like totally dries down unless you powder it. So just keep that in mind. So now I'm going to go in with the, well, actually, I'm going to use a little bit of powder. So I'm going to use my Givenchy powder, which I've been loving. It's in 03. And I'm just going to use this bronzer brush because I am going to go in with bronzer, but I'm just going to kind of do a light layer of this because I'm going to put like a powder blush over this Toffee stick, glow stick. So I'm going to use the Toffee shade. Just trying to find the brush that I used. I'll just use this brush. So I'm going to use the powder blush in Toffee. But see how I powdered it first with the Givenchy or whatever powder of your choice, and then just go in. It does kind of blend a little bit easier. But they do layer nicely without powdering. But I always just like to powder a little just to make sure that that powder is blending over the cream blush a little bit more seamlessly. But here is that. It just looks so natural, right? I'm loving it. But here's what I do. Then I take the shade Candy in the powder blush and I put that on top. So I kind of mix the two. And I just feel like that creates the perfect shade for me. Sometimes I just will leave it with the Toffee, but I did try this combo and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. So I kind of have been loving this a lot. Now I'm going to use my Dior Jumbo Bronzer in shade 30. This is a little bit more neutral than the other shades, so that's why I like it. I'm just going to put a little bit of bronzer on. Been loving these Dior complexion products so much. But when you mix this bronzer in with everything, it just, I don't know, this combo is really elite. It's a great combo, in my opinion. Been loving it. There's a lot of smells going on though, because these products, you know, they do have a little bit of a scent. So just keep that in mind. But this is, you know, the combination of the Toffee glow stick, Toffee blush powder, Candy blush powder, and then we have my Dior Sculpt stick in 03 medium, and then the jumbo bronzer in 30. So this, I know that's a lot of product. You don't have to use all those products, but that's just the combination that I have been loving. I'm just gonna finish my makeup and I'll be right back to give you my final thoughts. Okay, I'm back. So I did a light layer of mascara. I just did my Lancome Lash Needle Mascara. Just a really simple look today, and then I used some of my Ilia shadow sticks. I wanted to show you what the glowy stick looks like on my lips. So I'm going to take the shade Toffee and just use that. And then I'm going to top it with Candy. And just kind of mix these two together. I feel like that gives like a really nice little peachy shade, and then it will tie in the cheeks. Then I'm just going to use a little bit of lip liner, I think, just to kind of give this a little bit of dimension. I'm using my Farah Hamidi in the shade Bruni, which I really have been loving these lip liners. That's just going to give a little bit of dimension. Okay, so let me give you my thoughts here. I really like the glow sticks. I think these are beautiful. I kind of want all the shades, but I'm just going to enjoy the ones I have for now because I feel like I like these, and I don't really love how lavender looks like on my cheek or pink. So I'm kind of just satisfied with these shades, honestly. The only thing I was considering is getting the rosewood powder blush, but honestly, like, I'm pretty content with the shades that I have in the powder blush, the Toffee and Candy. So I don't know if I really need the powder blush in rosewood. I definitely don't want to get it in pink or lavender because I've had those in the past and I don't really get much use out of them. I think that they're probably really beautiful on certain skin tones, but for me, I just feel like it kind of clashes with my skin tone and it's just not really my vibe. But you never know. I may get it down the road, but hopefully seeing these shades and these formulas really helped you out if you were kind of on the fence or you were interested in these products. I do like them. I do think they're a little pricey, but I do think, it's Dior, so that's what you're going to get when you purchase like a luxury makeup item. But I do think they perform really well. So at least you'll know that if you're spending, a higher price, that you're getting good quality. So I hope this video was helpful and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for my future videos, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.